folks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk with Chris Heidel. I'm Chris Heidel with Steve Jules back in the office here tonight after a week off, and George Britcher from the good state of Indiana, enjoying the finer life of Indiana life out there with the special people. We got a
people.
Yeah, there's special people out there. Yeah, there's special people all over the place.
We got no shortage of special people here either.
Hey, we got people who drive the short bus. So anyway. So thanks for coming on tonight, folks. We got a jam-packed show here on a Tuesday. It is March Madness, so we'll have Pat Skerry joining us by phone around 8:30 tonight because he's going to be out because he's a busy man today with all the people grabbing interviews for him because Towson is the #1 seed in the CAA tournament that's going to start this Saturday down in the District of Columbia. But at 7:35, we have Jim Carone, who is the head coach of McDaniel College, will be joining us at 7:35 in like 2 minutes. And then Summer Britcher, we got an Olympian on our program. We have two of them tonight, folks. Two of them. This is a lady who does the Luge, and she's from Glen, Pennsylvania, just up the road from us. But her family's from Baltimore City, so her father is a police chief back in the old days back in Baltimore City. So he's a well-known police chief. So she'll be joining us at 7:47, and then our buddy Adam and I last night had a chance to talk to Parker Bohn III by Zoom, and we cut it down to enough for a good 10-minute interview with him. So we listened to that as well. And then around 8:17, Ohio State's baseball coach Greg Beals, who Beals, who is he actually got drafted by the New York Mets back in 1991.
I saw that. I was like, that's why Chris grabbed him.
I didn't realize that.
Team.
And then we talked about Pat Skerry at 8:30, and then 8:45, Anthony Williams, the manager of Frostburg University, used to be Frostburg State University, but now it's just Frostburg University, will be joining us at 8:45. And then around 9 o'clock, we'll talk about the 9 o'clock hour in the next couple of minutes. But we got a Cleveland Guardian, if you want to know what that is the former name of the Cleveland Indians. Richie Palacios will be joining us, who played baseball at Towson University back in a couple of years ago. He is now on the 40-man roster for the Guardians of Major League Baseball, or we call them the Indians. And then at 9:20, the Ashley Caldwell, who's another Olympian who was over in Beijing, a freestyle skier, one of those nice, does all the aerials in the air. Yeah, pretty cool.
Stuff.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I might break a leg. So I don't know. Steve, would you do that? Jump off go down a ramp and do twirls with your skis in the air and do some like.
Yeah.
Would you?
I would do that.
Would you, George? Would you do it?
Chris, no.
No. He says no.
Drama back in 8th grade, coming off the bunny slope.
Yeah.
At the local mountain. We'll just say that I came off the hill on the back of a snowmobile.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you end up with a big snowball?
I don't know what I did. That was my first and last time skiing.
So, all right.
Done.
Yeah. Well, I went skiing pretty times down in Virginia, but it's pretty sad that your parents know the ski patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. My dad one time actually goes, "Oh, that's John who took your mom down the hill the other day." I'm like, really? So anyway, we'll talk more about skiing later. Let's bring
Christmas cards now.
Yeah. Next Christmas card. We'll bring it. Here's the head coach at McDaniel College, Jim Calhoun, will join us.
Carone.
Hey, Jim. How you doing? I think I just butchered your last name. I apologize for that.
No problem at all, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. How are you doing this evening? How's you guys doing? You guys played 2 games this past weekend in Aberdeen, and do you have enough runs for this weekend?
Oh man, I hope so. No, we just got off the practice field. Today was the first day we were able to practice on our field on campus. Our grounds department did a great job getting ready for us with, the winter we had and the cold temperatures. It was pretty wet. So it was fun to be out there. We got done about an hour ago. Had a little inter-squad, little scrimmage out there to get ready for this weekend.
That's cool. Yeah, you guys, Yeah, you're back at it this Saturday. A doubleheader starting at 12 noon. So the weather looks pretty good, 54 degrees. So you must be excited about that.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about that. I mean, we should be able to be outside and practice on our baseball field all week, which we haven't been able to do, up until today. We've been in the gym hitting and pitching and trying to do defense. We have a pretty good setup inside to get all that done, but there's nothing like being outside and being able to train on your own field. And, just with the spacing of everything in practice, being able to have your outfield, properly spaced. And, we're not on our football field, with only 2 outfielders and no one playing left field because there's no space for them.
That sounds like an old ballpark. There's no left field. Yeah, it's like you just play it off the carom. Yeah.
No doubt. Got to be creative. Got to be creative to get the guys ready to go. So that's what we try to do.
That's cool. George, you got something?
So, Coach, this is your first year, correct, with McDaniel College?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And last year they were 3-11, I believe, and you guys are already 2-2. What was the message that you brought into the team when you took over as the skipper?
That's a great question. So, we first got together. I was hired in June and first got together with the team, I think in late August. And pretty much, everybody had a clean slate. We communicated, what the expectations are for our program on and off the baseball field. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the off the field stuff is more important than the on the field stuff. Just how guys are walking to class, the citizens that they are on campus and how the perception is of our baseball program. So we wanted to make that as great as we possibly can. And, that starts out, that begins with, the character of our kids. We have great kids here and, the attitude of them every single day, what they do in the dining hall, what they do in the dorms, and just we created, trying to create a culture of being great all the time, not just on the baseball field. Like, be the best you can be when you're in the dining hall, act the best you can in class, get the best grades you can. Like, we want to win everything. And it's a process, it's a process. And some of that stuff was new to these guys. Some of them have been doing it the whole time they've been here. So I think just communicating what our plan was, what our goals are, what the mission is. I think that was new to them. We try to communicate with it as clear as we possibly can and set the expectations for them. Like I said, not only on the baseball field, but off the baseball field. And, on the field, one of the things that we want to do, is play the game the right way, and not play it to be cool. I was out recruiting today and saw 2 teams and, too many youth baseball players now are playing the game cool. Like, just play the game hard the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do the old-fashioned Pete Rose, just hustle, and or even Gary Carter used to do it. Just have fun, hustle, show like you enjoyed playing the game instead of walking around going, "Oh, I play right field, I'm good."
Exactly.
That's why those people were legends. They hustled and they showed, like even if they're 0 for 4, they still look like they had a great time playing baseball.
Without a doubt. And we have guys on our team now. I mean, they love to play and they show up. And this group that we have, you mentioned the record from last year. I mean, that doesn't mean much to us anymore because this is, a new team and the guys have been outstanding since day one. Since we first got together at the end of August, beginning of September, the work ethic of the kids on our team, like, they want to be great and they want to win something, and like we say, like, we got to stick with the process. We can't be focused on the wins and the losses. We can't be focused on the results. We can't just say, hey, we want to win a game, because there's 32 things that go into winning a game, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to focus on those things and be great at those small things so that over time, whether that's over the course of a game, a weekend, a month, a season, a year, whatever it is, the results will take care of themselves, and we do all those little things properly.
And with the new squad that you have coming in for this year, do you have any of them that look like they're kind of already showing promise for being good ball players?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a really strong freshman class that was here when I got here, but we have some really good pitchers that have shown some solid things. The past 2 weekends, that's been really, I wouldn't say surprising, but uplifting, to have some young guys out there on the mound competing the way they are. And then just some veteran guys that have done it, and been all conference and been all region, whether it be last year or in the past, those guys just proving, who they are as players, and as a first year head coach, getting to see these guys compete on the field for the first time in a real game rather than, all the inter squads and scrimmages we did all fall. It's really cool to see.
Yeah. Jim, a question for you. With this stuff going on with Major League Baseball, with the lockout, do you get anybody of your players come up to you and say, Coach, what is this going on? And do you try to explain to them, because like a college kid doesn't know what's going on. And, the average player, they want to get to the major leagues, but it seems like, they get there. It's like, okay, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just the disappointment of not having Major League Baseball for our guys, I think is probably the biggest thing. I guess it was different, for me and you guys looking at it back in '94 when they had the strike, right? And there wasn't as much information out there about it as there is today. Like these kids are on Twitter and they're on Instagram and they're on, the news is at their fingertips, So I think they're probably more dialed into it than maybe me or you were back. In 1994 when all you had was the news and the newspaper, and that was pretty much it to figure out what was going on. But, I think it's given baseball fans the opportunity to kind of fall in love with the college game at this point. I mean, if you go on the ESPN app, there's college baseball games on every night of the week. I mean, on the weekends, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday during the day. I mean, you have your pick at whatever game you want to watch, from coast to coast. So, I mean, I think it's definitely, been a spark for college baseball that this has happened because, it might be tough. I mean, you might have some people that have never watched college baseball. They like the speed of the game. They like the grittiness of the players, like we were talking about earlier, guys that are playing the game the right way. Just about all the time, MLB might be losing some fans to college because of this too.
Yeah, I think college baseball is going to and minor league baseball is going to succeed by this because everybody will be like, okay, we don't have these cities like Baltimore and New York, and they'll be like, well, I guess we got to go find places to watch baseball, and they'll go to Brooklyn, they'll go to you came from Wagner College up there in New York, those schools will be benefiting that those people for watching baseball.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, George, go ahead.
I was going to say, Coach, I've been around a lot of the different coaches around here at Notre Dame and in other parts of the country. All I got to say is, your mindset is what champions are made of. And that's what it sounded like this program needed. They just needed another direction, a fresh breath of air. And you said all the right things. And if those things play out the way they do, by what you're saying, I believe you guys are going to have a very successful season.
I really appreciate that. And, like we talked about, it's a process, but we have lofty goals for our program. And our coaching staff and our administration, we have a new president, we have new vice presidents, we have a new athletic director, and everyone is kind of in alignment or is in alignment with what they want McDaniel College and our athletic department, our baseball program to be, so it's an exciting time to be here for sure. We're energized. We have great kids on our team. These guys work so hard and they're so much fun to be around every single day, but I really appreciate it. And, we're just really excited to live in it every day, but also move forward.
And plus, you're excited for your first home game of the year, so you can see the fans and people in Westminster going, hey, you got baseball around the corner.
I tell you what, Chris, it was so nice to be out there today on our field for the first time since October, man. I mean, all our kids felt it. We felt it as coaches. It's really cool to be home. That's for sure.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, do you think that with a lot of the strong freshman class coming in, you think some of the senior players on the team are going to kind of help coaching with the younger guys coming in?
Yeah, I mean, our senior leadership's been really good. We had a captain vote. We have one senior captain who's a sixth-year guy. So he'll graduate with his master's degree this year, due to some injuries and stuff. But no, I mean, our senior leadership's good. We have some guys that are younger that are leaders as well. So it's just fun to see those guys emerge over time. And, we couldn't be more excited to be doing this together and just having fun with it. That's
great. Well, Jim, thanks so much for coming on tonight, and good luck this weekend. Hopefully the weather is going to cooperate, and it will be a great weekend for baseball. And, hey, Sunday is supposed to be in the 70s, so you must be excited about that.
Yep, as long as it doesn't rain, we'll be happy. So
exactly,
it'll be dry.
Okay, we'll talk to you down the road, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye. All right, folks. That's Coach Jim Corwan, who is Carwan, right?
Carone.
Carone? Okay. I'm sounding it out. So yeah. From McDaniel College, just down basically an hour from here, where we are here in where I'm located. So it's pretty cool.
I actually have a cousin who went to McDaniel.
Yeah. So real quick before that's pretty cool because these local baseball teams, they bring all the local talent, and you could go, if you're in high school, you could go right out to Westminster, or you could go to Southern Maryland and play baseball. You don't have to go to Ohio State or Indiana or whatever.
Imagine being a sophomore, junior, or senior, or like he said, the 6-year senior. Imagine last year going 3-11, and you're 2-2 are ready to start.
Jeez, hey, that's
That's
a
huge.
good start. That's a very good start.
They're already batting 500.
Exactly. So let's bring this Olympian in. She went to Beijing. Had a nice. She did okay out there. It was just one of those tough times out there with that track out there in Beijing was really difficult for any skier. Even if you're experienced, but with the weather different. They did on the artificial snow, right? They didn't really.
Chris, they made all their snow.
Yeah, they didn't have real snow.
It was supposed to be a game. It was supposed to be a game of environment, right?
Yeah.
And they made all snow.
It was like 5 degrees outside for the whole time of the game. So yeah, not like they were needed to make a lot of it.
Yeah.
No, they made most of it. They had to make it because they had no snow.
Yeah. Hey, I love it when they one of the things we watched on TV. They had the power plant right behind it. It's like we could have that up in Philadelphia. Yeah. Or it's like, geez, why you want to do that? So let's bring in Summer Britcher with us. Hey, Summer, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Thanks for coming on tonight. I know you were you were out there in Beijing. First of all, how was the talk about your experience out there? I know with the we were just talking about the artificial snow and the weather was different and all that. So what was the challenge for you?
Yeah, so we don't use snow. We go on ice on a concrete artificial track.
Right.
So they had a great refrigeration system, and it was also really cold there. So it was actually fantastic conditions on the track that we haven't really seen in the last couple of years. Most of our World Cup races have been way too warm out, and kind of with the older style tracks, there's not as great of insulation and stuff. So it was great conditions in Beijing for luge. Yeah, I'm kind of getting settled into being home still and kind of relaxing now after so long on the road. But yeah, it was overall a good experience over there.
That's cool. Hey, George, go ahead.
So, Summer, we only had what was being reported to us through the media. What was it like in and around the village, and the possibility of testing and everything of possibly not racing?
Yeah, so that was definitely a very stressful thing. We had daily COVID tests, and it was definitely, I think, for everyone, a stressful thing of like, one of these could come back positive. I know myself and the people surrounding me were being very responsible and doing what we could to stay safe and stay clear of COVID. But people were testing positive, and it kind of felt like this random possibility that you could pick up somewhere. And when I got that last COVID test the day before my second race day, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna make it through my race without testing positive, that was a huge weight off my shoulders. And then the last test that I needed to come home, once I got those test results back and I knew I would be on the plane home, I could finally kind of breathe and take a step back and stop taking everything incredibly seriously with masks and hand sanitizing still and everything. It's nice to kind of take a step back and calm down with all of that now.
Yeah. Summer, how did you get involved with luge? Because I know from this area, we're here in Baltimore County. You up there, and you live in Glen, Pennsylvania, and your dad, and mostly you're from Baltimore City. How did you get into luge?
Yeah, so I grew up in Glen Rock for the first several years of my life. I live in Lake Placid, New York now, which is a lot better for luging.
A lot better.
And yeah, I was born in Baltimore. My dad's been in the fire department there, I think since he was 19.
Oh, wow.
So a long time. And my family and I were skiing one day at Ski Liberty in Pennsylvania. And they had the U.S. Luge Association had like a fun little event going on there, just to kind of get the word out about the sport, maybe do some recruiting, just a promotional event for sponsors kind of thing. And we were there that day and I gave it a try, and I was the right age and I guess like way too competitive. So some of the Luge staff that was there, they said, you should come up to Lake Placid, give it a try. You're the right age. There's this tryout camp in like a couple months for kids your age. And my parents somehow agreed to support me in doing this. And my dad drove me up here and tried out for the team. And that was in March of 2006, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And just kind of, I slowly got more and more involved and worked my way up the teams. And yeah, it's been history since then.
Yeah. Was it like training up in Lake Placid? Because they used to have the Olympics back in the old days in the 80s, 1980s.
Yeah, it's really
It's still
cool.
the same stuff?
The town, it's a small town, small tourist town, but it's very much the people here and the events they have here, they've done a great job of holding on to kind of that Olympic legacy. So it's like it's very much a winter sports town and also just a sporting town. So a lot of ski jumpers train here, luge athletes, bobsled, skeleton. We'll have the occasional skier come through. There's like, I think hockey's pretty big in the schools up here and a few private schools with some winter sports. So it's a cool environment to be in. And I really have that like community of other athletes. And I think I saw that is Ashley Caldwell on the show later.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I actually met Ashley when I was like, we were both like 14 staying at the Olympic Training Center here in Lake Placid, and we're friends. And I've known her since I was like 14 because we trained together in Lake Placid for a couple of years when we were younger, actually.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So I didn't meet her back in the Maryland, Pennsylvania area, but I did get to know her up in Lake Placid.
That's cool. That's a small world. I feel like my program is like, I feel like we're Cheers sometimes. Everybody knows their name. You know,
yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, Ashley's on. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to find, during the Olympics, I try to, my girlfriend and I just sit there and look for the roster of people. Like, okay, anybody from Maryland? Anybody from Maryland? Anybody from Maryland? We're like, because I think it's cool to show, young ladies like you and, young, people growing up that you could leave the state of Maryland, be successful, and come back and be, and you're up there in Pennsylvania, your dad's down in Baltimore City, and, and all that stuff. It's like, it's pretty cool that you show that you could do it.
And you're representing your country, Chris.
Right. And that's the major.
Sorry, what was that?
And I said you're representing your country.
Yes. No, it's great. And I feel super lucky to have like ties to so many different great areas that I like. I have like my little home base up here, and then also Glen Rock and Baltimore. It's like, it's pretty cool to have, such a great support system and people, cheering me on in all those different areas. So I feel really lucky.
Yeah. Steve, you got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I was watching the luge during the Olympics. What type of speeds do you guys hit there on most of your training runs as well as in competition?
I don't remember what the speeds were in Beijing, but I would say the fastest I've gone is probably around 85 miles per hour.
Wow.
And it varies track by track. Some tracks are a little slower and they're more technical. Some of them are more high speed. I think in Beijing it was probably it was in kilometers per hour on our timesheets, and now I'm trying to figure out. I would say probably around 70-75 miles per hour in Beijing.
Does that make you nervous? When you're going down a hill,
No,
inches above the track, going at that speed.
By the time I get nervous, it's usually already too late and I'm crashing. I started when I was young enough that I didn't really understand the concept of, oh, hey, I could get hurt doing this. And by the time I kind of realized that and that clicked in my head, I was already way too invested and had enough experience as well to like know how to slide safely and everything. But yeah, I think I was probably 14 or 15 when I had a really bad crash one day in a race, and I went, this might not be the smartest idea, but I was already so invested and in love with the sport that it was too late to back out then.
Yeah. Well, Summer, I was talking to Sandy, your contact, and she said that you broke your finger in January. How's the finger?
So I broke my finger 3 weeks before the start of the Olympics, and 4 weeks before my competition run. So, and I broke it my middle finger just above the last knuckle, like a full break all the way through. So not a fracture. It was very broken, which was almost comical timing in a way. I've done this sport for 16 years, and my first broken bone in this sport unfortunately happened 3 weeks before the Olympics. And it's also the silliest bone possible, right? Like, it's just a finger. In any other sport, and for 90% of my sport, it's something I can work past and it's not a big deal, right? But in luge, I actually start by pulling off these handles and propelling myself forward with spikes on your fingertips. It's the one sport where you slam your fingertips into a solid object as hard as you can repeatedly. It's a very serious injury for my sport and my sport only, and maybe a few others, but I did the best that I could. Unfortunately, it kind of took me out of contention, just losing so much speed on the start. It's something that I spend most of my off season training for, is trying to have a fast start time. I'm in the gym working out. We have a refrigerated start facility here in Lake Placid, so in there training several days a week, working on technique. So to kind of lose that a couple weeks before the Olympics was a tough one, but I got through it.
Yeah. George, you got another one for Summer?
Well, I got a funny one for her. So when everything thaws out up there, there's no big alligators, right?
Sorry, in Lake Placid alligators? I have my volume all the way up. I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
There's the movie, Chris.
I think
Lake Placid. Lake Placid. About the big alligator that the woman's raising in the lake.
I think that's the other Lake Placid. There's a Lake Placid in Florida actually as well, I think.
Oh.
I always thought about the Lake Placid
in New York.
but the serious question was, when you go over for the Olympics, how far in advance are you actually there before the games start?
So this time around, I think we were there a little earlier than normal, which was a huge relief because I was really worried about the jet lag. I have always had a hard time with jet lag, and now I feel like every year that I get older, I get like twice as bad dealing with jet lag. But I think getting to the Olympic Village, I think we had about 3 or 4 days off before we could start training. And then I think I started training before opening ceremonies. I was there for a couple days before opening ceremonies.
Okay.
And that was 2 or 3 days before my competition started.
You just have to get the jet lag out of you.
Yeah. So having those couple days, not able, because we have to ship our sleds, it's all the way, it's a long shipping thing. So, having a couple days to just acclimate and get used to the area, figure out the whole dining hall situation and everything, and where the COVID tests are and how the buses are going to work, is helpful.
And also tell the robot to give you the right food.
So the robots weren't in the village that I was in. It was such a bummer. They were down in some of the overflow hotels. Okay. So I ran into a robot once, but I didn't get to have a robot serve me any food, unfortunately.
That would have been the best.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Summer, I have a question for you. What are you doing around 9:20? Would you like to come back on and surprise your friend?
Maybe I might be going out to grab some dinner.
Okay.
But so I probably won't be able to hop back on. I don't want to make any promises.
Okay.
But if you guys just tell her I said hello and congratulations from me. Her and her teammates really crushed it this year, and I'm so happy for her. I mean, this was her 4th Olympics. So she's been out there doing an amazing job for a long time, and she's great.
Yeah. And by the way, Summer, I agree with a lot of your comments that you're making on Twitter. I was checking out your Twitter account before the show.
What was I saying on there?
Oh, no.
I always get myself in trouble on Twitter.
No, it wasn't in trouble. It was all about the competition and the 15-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
She was an absolute victim. That was a travesty.
Yeah. She's definitely a victim, and I feel bad for her, but that doesn't mean she should be allowed to compete. It's tough. It's
too young.
She's definitely a victim, but I think it brings up an interesting thing where, we've seen doping issues in Russia for a long time, and everyone's being more sympathetic with this girl being 15, and they should be. I think she deserves our sympathy, but I think a lot of the older athletes are victims too. They grew up in the same program, and someone, not having access to the same education and or the same rights, or able to stand up for themselves at 18 or 20 is also a victim. So I hope that this will instigate the change needed to protect athletes in that program in the future. But only time will tell, unfortunately.
Well, we got 4 more years until Italy. So
yeah, so hopefully in Italy things will be different by then, and we can see beautiful. That all the athletes competing are in a safe environment where they
I know you
have
just got
access
home,
to support and whatever they need.
Yeah, I know you just got home. Are you going to consider 2026? Or are you going to take some time, go to the beach, relax? Yeah.
I'm definitely considering it. I haven't made any choices yet. It's a very big decision, but definitely going to take some time off first. Got a few ski days in already this spring. So yeah, definitely going to take a couple vacations, take some downtime. I was just playing hockey with some friends earlier before hopping on here. And so it's very refreshing. You spend so long gearing up for the Olympics. So not that I don't do anything fun, but it's always in the back of my head anytime I'm doing anything even remotely dangerous. Oh no, what if I hurt myself and I can't compete, or I'm injured and it holds me back. So this time period, these next couple months, is the time where I can go play ice hockey with my friends and not be worried. And I'm not very good, so the risk of me hurting myself is pretty high. But I don't need to be so worried about that because, the Olympics just happened and it's a long time before the next one. So I can kind of relax.
That's cool. Well, Summer, you always anytime you want to come back on, and if you want to tell the folks if you are going to the games, let us know. We'd love to be the first person to know, and we could put it out there. And and
absolutely,
if you want,
I think it's safe to assume that I'm going to continue sliding until I say otherwise. That's okay. I don't know what the future holds, but it would be cool to go to another Olympics.
Yeah, I hope I don't have anybody from the local paper that just took that,
Chris, you don't have those problems, do you?
Yeah, we don't have that problem here. We don't. Well,
we get plagiarized all the time.
Exactly. Well, Summer, I hope you enjoy some time off. Relax, get rest up, and we'll talk to you down the road. And thanks for coming on. And
all right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm proud you guys went over there, and I'm sorry that you didn't have get the outcome you wanted, but hey, you made the country proud.
It's okay. It's all about competing. It's about competing and competing well. So I'd love to get one of those shiny necklaces, but I feel very proud of how I competed, and that's the big takeaway.
You had an opportunity.
Hey, you're always like my mother said. You're always your mother probably say the same thing. You're always golden in their eyes, right?
Yeah. No, they told me don't come home. No, I'm just
don't come home.
That's a joke. My family's been very supportive, and I'm very lucky to have them in my corner.
Nice. Well, Summer, thanks for coming on, and enjoy some time off.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
See ya. Bye.
See you, Summer.
All right, that's Summer Britcher, who. U.S. Luge, it's some sledding down ice. I think I do that out here when we have the snowstorm.
Yeah. So a point of correction. Yeah. I understood the luge is on that ice system, but all the snow that you saw for skiing was all artificial. They had to make their own snow.
Exactly. Well, we got some things up before we got an interview with Parker Bohn, but I got some I tried to find some history on this date and sports history and music history and all that stuff. So on this date in 1969, George, good old Mickey Mantle retired.
I met the Mick.
Yeah, you met him? That's cool.
I did.
Nice.
Yep. I believe it or not, I had an autographed picture and I cannot find it.
Yeah, this is his last home run at Yankee Stadium in 1968.
69.
The Mick.
No, this is his final. He retired in 69, so this is his final home run. Look at the old Yankee Stadium.
Love old Yankee Stadium, by the way.
Yeah, my dad used to go to some of the Yankee games with his father, and he told me about how the outfield was so big to the point like they had the Monument Park. They had to go around it to pick up the ball and. It's like really?
And
Yeah.
there's no damn viewing obstruction.
Yeah, I know. It's like they had the monuments right in center field, like high fly, deep center field. Oh, we ran over Babe Ruth, ran him over.
Yep.
Yeah. Another thing is, I found out in music history on this day. We all know about the Doors, right? With Jim Morrison, and how he was so raunchy and up there in the weird on stage. On this date in 1969, same year, he got arrested for basically playing with himself on stage. That's all I'm saying. In Miami, that legendary concert that he did down there in Miami that got himself arrested. But the funny thing is, he was found guilty. He never went to jail because he went to Paris and died. That's pretty interesting. Did you hear? You know that? I think he's frozen.
No, not frozen.
He was just trying to take in what you just said.
Yeah.
I was just I was trying to get you to think what I was thinking.
Yeah. I found a video. This is I didn't put the audio on because it's kind of rude and inconsiderate at this time of day. But
God.
Yeah, he was he was out there that evening. Completely starting fights with the crowds and playing with himself. And back then that was like uncalled for. You don't see that stuff on stage, but now
it's uncalled for now.
Yeah, well, you don't see anybody get busted for it. Yeah. No, seriously, you don't. I haven't seen anybody. I know my brother went to GNR and Guns N' Roses. Axl goes out and goes off and in his little tantrums, but he doesn't get fined, and that's a gray area pretty much.
So how's Parker Bohn doing?
Well, Parker's moving on. Back to the this is a family program.
I'm gonna reel the sucker back in here.
It is a family program. Parker's doing great. Today he couldn't come on tonight because his son is doing the college tour. So he's picking out colleges. So he's in Iowa, but that's where he was last night. So let's play the interview that I had with our good friend Adam, who joined us last night. So here he is. Here it is. All right, folks, good evening, and welcome to our pre-recorded interview with Parker Bohn III. I grew up watching this gentleman since I was basically when I was 6 or 7 years old, when he was on ABC, in the professional bowler store. Adam probably did exactly the same thing. So Parker is now, I want to say a crafty veteran. He's been bowling for so long since, and he's now in the senior group, or even maybe the senior group. So he's out there. Parker, where are you tonight? Are you in Wichita, or are you at, in New Jersey?
No, I am in Iowa right now.
Iowa. Wow.
Yep. Right around the corner, basically.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Cool. Just around the corner. So, recap last weekend at the Adam and I were just talking about the Tournament of Champions. The lanes were kind of tough for you last week in Akron. What was the difference with the lanes?
I just quite couldn't figure out what I needed to do to let me say repeat shots and get comfortable. You have to first figure out what you're bowling on with, be it how much hook or how little hook that you can obtain by watching the lanes themselves. Mm-hmm. Then you try to figure out how much room that you may have at a given point, whether you're playing inside or outside, based on the bowling balls that you're throwing. Well, I never really got comfortable in either direction with whatever I was doing. I went from everywhere playing as deep as probably 16 or 17 at one point out to trying to play straight up 2-3 because I don't have the hand that some of the guys do to get it to come back, religiously. So nothing quite fanned out for Parker Bohn. So politely pack your stuff up, put it in the car, and move on to the next tournament.
So where's the next tournament for you? Is it you're going to take a couple weeks off, or are you going to do the college tour with your kids? We'll talk about that a little bit later in this interview. But what are you doing for now until the Masters or whatever?
Well, the next tournament for me is the PBA doubles. I'm going to team up with Matt Russo. Matt won his first title last year, and obviously Adam can attest to it. You probably watched the PBA.
Yeah, I watched the Parker. I sure did.
And Matt Russo got PBA Rookie of the Year last year. So that's really, it was a big highlight, a big night for him. More importantly, it was a huge night for the Hall of Fame inductees. And that's always something to really be part of and proud of. You know, as a PBA member, I can tell you right now that I cherish those nights because it's a bowler or someone who's worked for the PBA. They're putting their entire life in front of them in a matter of 20 or 30 minutes. And that's a tough thing to do. It really is. You know, so after the doubles gets done, then it will roll right into the World Series of Bowling. And that'll take place for about another 10 days after the doubles. And then we have about a week or 10 days off there before things really get underway out there at the USBC Masters in Las Vegas.
That's cool. Hey, Adam, you got a question for Parker?
Yeah. We know about your sons, Justin and Brandon, who are competing, who have competed in junior gold before. So tell us about the youth bowling in the United States and what do you know? How do you see it going forward?
Well, I think that youth bowling in the United States continues to get stronger and stronger each and every day that goes by. And that's really eminent by watching junior gold. Look at how it's grown through the years. I don't have the exact year that it started, but let me just say around 2000 as a perfect number that we can work with. And I believe the first year that they had it, it was somewhere around 150 competitors that participated in junior gold. And then through the years, it escalated. It got to be a little bit more. They broke it down in some different age brackets. You know, you originally had U20 and you had U15, and then they changed things up a little bit and added a U12, and you've got the boys division, you've got the girls division. And now the way that things have gone with Safe Sport, U20 is now lowered to U18, but they still have a U20 division prior to junior gold that they can hold for those athletes that want to bowl, you know, in the bigger division. But you're looking at somewhere minimum 4,000 to almost 5,000 competitors on the lanes for 2 weeks. That's pretty incredible.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. And Parker, back when you were bowling, we didn't have youth bowling when I was a kid. I had, you know, leagues here in Maryland, and, you know, we had like the Coca-Cola, you know, 200, whatever it was for the you know, you could go off to, you know, you bowl in a different center, and you have like it's almost like, you're bowling on TV, you know, you bowl in different pairs and all that stuff. And they used to do that. And now, is that still around, or is it called by a different name?
There's plenty of youth bowling going on around the country.
Okay.
There's a wide variety of junior tournaments that take place. You know, you're in that Baltimore area there, just as a prime example. One of the biggest youth renditions that go on happens to be the PJBT, the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, which is really equivalent to the JBT series, which Chuck Pisano Jr. started some 35 or 40 years ago. And he just officially retired from doing or hosting junior tournaments within the past year. So he bowed out. But, you know, Christopher, I'll tell you right now, in your backyard, Danny Wiseman's tournament is one of the more prolific ones that we have here on the East Coast.
Yeah, Danny does a great job. He gets all the local, you know, I felt bad for him during the pandemic, the first, you know, that 1 year that, you know, he couldn't bowl in it. But last year, it looked like he had a lot of kids signed up, and, you know, he had to move to a new bowling center because Country Club Lanes basically folded. So he had to bowl in Perry Hall. But, you know, I thought it was great that he keeps doing this for these kids. And, you know, and I think when I was a kid, I wish I had Danny doing this when I was a kid, you know, because I think I would have stayed in bowling because I probably would have been like, cool, you know. But when I got older, you know, it's basically, you know, you turn an adult league, and if you take any money, you can't go to NCAA. You know, can't play in any NCAA, you know, whatever, you know. So basically, I had to say, you know, okay, well, I guess I'll just bowl for fun, you know, because I like to keep, you know, bowling for fun.
Sure. And it's you know, there's a lot of it that's still that way today. The kids or youth bowlers cannot compete in any money tournaments that they get liquid cash.
Mm-hmm.
They can't have a dollar bill put in their hand. But as a junior competitor, you can bowl in the USBC Masters. You can bowl in a PBA regional or national tour stop as long as your parents sign a waiver for you. And whatever you earn goes into the Smart Fund, into your scholarship portion that or portfolio you want to say that you build up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you right now that some of those youth bowlers, by the time they get ready to go to college, they have literally in excess of probably 30, 40, 50, maybe even $60,000 saved up towards their college, career, which really goes benefit a long, long way towards furthering their education.
That's true. And it's awesome. That's great that, like your son probably did the same thing. Your both sons are bowling. And I do have to ask you a question. Last year, the king of the hill up there in Portland, Maine, did somebody start a fire in your house? Because I know because you were saying like I have to pay this money because somebody did something, and you're yeah, go ahead.
My son, about 2 weeks before we got ready to go up there, he decided to drive our GMC Yukon. He was driving down the road really early one morning. Keep in mind the night before was senior night. So the seniors went out. They had like senior prank going on at the school. So kids are up real late. Well, someone had dropped by accident off the back of their truck a metal roller that you would roll dirt with before you, let's say, pave or pour concrete for a sidewalk. Well, he thought it was a manhole cover and decided to straddle it and run right over it. Oh my God, that was a mistake.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He completely bent the rim, blew a tire out. Fortunately, he didn't get in an accident. Nobody else was involved, and he was able to pull off the road safely onto a side street. But he bent one or two other things in the bottom of the truck. So the truck was, needless to say, a little bit incapacitated.
Oh, jeez.
Let's just put it that way. And it needed some repair work.
And I guess Daddy didn't like that at all, and I guess he's been doing a lot of chores around the house and paying you back, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow. So wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because we were watching it. I was like, my girlfriend Nicole, she's like, "What did he do? Start a fire?" I'm like,
no,
I don't know. Yeah.
No, thank God that wasn't the case.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back here after So okay. All right, welcome back to the show. That was first part of Parker Bohn III. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Before we bring in the coach from Ohio State, I do have to do a birthday shout out to he's still a Met. Last time I checked, Michael DePorto was born on his on today. He's known for his right field with the Mets, and we'll bring in the coach of Ohio State because I think he was, signed his when he's drafted back in 1991 to play with the New York Mets. So let's bring in the head coach of Ohio State, Coach Greg Beals, with us. Hey, Coach, how you doing? And you were drafted by the New York Mets. Fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great experience. 1991 is a long time ago, but I wore the orange and blue of the Mets, and I heard you just talk and gave Conforto a happy birthday, and I had the unfortunate experience of playing against him when I was coaching here at Ohio State, and he was at Oregon State. Really good baseball player, no doubt about it, and really fun to see his career develop.
Yeah, because I was doing some research last night about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I saw a picture on your Twitter page. I'm like, is that a Met uniform? I was like, hold on a second here. So I was looking. I was like, is this Columbia, South Carolina? Yeah, that's where Tim Tebow was for his first year in minor league baseball. So now they were called the Fireflies now, but before that they were called Columbia Mets, and that's where you played in 1991. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had that was on February 2nd, so it was 2/2/22. So us catchers claimed that as National Catchers Day. So I had to post some pictures of my catching days.
Nice. So talk about last weekend. You guys went down to Texas, played Texas State. Tough weekend for you guys. So what did you learn from that series with the Bobcats?
We learned a lot, and I appreciate that question. And it's no fun losing, no doubt about it. We got whooped. They're a good ball club. What we learned is that we're simply behind on some of the smaller things in the game, and we did not do a good job of controlling the running game. We didn't do a good job of throwing strikes. Their base runners caused us problems, not only in stealing, but distracting our pitchers from making quality pitches. And unfortunately, our weather this spring or early spring or late winter, whatever you want to call it, has not been great. So we've been stuck in our cages, and our pitchers are throwing in cages to batters, and there's no runners on base. I mean, it's not an excuse, but there's some reality to it. We still have some development to do on the field. I like our ball club. I think we're going to be solid. We still have some on-the-field development that we need to do, obviously.
Mm-hmm. George, go ahead.
I was going to say, Coach, I can feel your pain living out here in the South Bend area. There's still snow in my backyard, and I know that the Notre Dame team here is itching to get on their own field. A bonus is tomorrow you get to play at Cincinnati, but you can at least sleep in your own bed tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're excited. And this is something that Coach Googans and I put together like on the weekend. Like we saw the forecast. We were not originally scheduled to play this game on Wednesday, tomorrow. But we saw the forecast and we're like, we got to get out and play. And a lot of respect for Coach Googans and what he's doing in their program. And we look forward to getting down there. I got a bunch of guys from the 513, as they call it, the Cincinnati area. So they're looking forward to going down there to Cincinnati and playing in their own backyards.
Yeah. And Coach, in doing some research, I also saw that just like the football team, you guys have the big rival in Michigan, and it's just great to see that it spills over into baseball.
No doubt about it. And when we play the school up north, it doesn't matter whether it's ping pong or football or whatever it is. It's on. Like it's on. Like everybody cares and everybody's locked in, and it's going to be a big time game.
Yeah, and it's also competitive when you guys go to the supermarket too. When you see them, you just want, we know about the rivalries. It even trying to explain to my girlfriend, like she's like, why do they get all? I was like, because it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry game. It's like it's in the blood of that of that foundation of those two teams. They just don't like each other no matter what.
Right.
Yeah. Greg, I gotta have a question for you about tomorrow's game. How did you get this game on the schedule? I know you said you talked to the coach on Sunday, this past Sunday, say, hey, Wednesday's working very nice. How do you get everything, organized to get ready to come on? You get the game on Wednesday. Do you have to go through different channels to say, hey, is that okay? Do you have the money for the budget to travel down there? How do you guys do it?
Yeah, well, that's a fabulous question. There's a lot of things, especially when you're traveling like we are, that go into it. And the biggest thing is the academic piece. And we have paperwork that we fill out at the beginning of the year that covers our guys on their academics when they may be missing classes, and it all gets approved. And then coach calls on Sunday and says, hey, we want to leave school on Wednesday too and add on to what was already approved. That's not an easy thing to do. And our faculty rep, John Davidson, and our academic advisor, Sean Sperring, work really hard with me to make sure that our guys aren't being at a major disadvantage academically to play this baseball game. I think it's a huge advantage from a baseball standpoint for us to get out there, but we needed to circle the wagons on all aspects of it. And from a financial piece, yep, we're on the hook for it, and that comes down to Coach Beals making sure that at the end of the year, I got the dollars and cents all matched up.
Yeah, you basically have a budget, so basically you have enough money to go basically for some road games and plus conference games too. Because you have to travel to Maryland, you got to travel to Northwestern. Basically, you got to make sure you have enough money, or else you guys, it comes out of your pocket, right?
Well, I appreciate what you're saying on that. And a lot of people think that, it's Ohio State. You guys got all kinds of money. You can do whatever you want to do. And we have an unbelievable budget. Don't get me wrong. But we run this ship like a business. And we have a budget, and we're expected to stick to that budget. And that's what allows Gene Smith and our administration to run this broad-based athletic department the way we do. So while we do have money, we got to make sure we're taking care of it properly.
Yeah. Well, real quick before I let you go, talk about the Big Ten. What do you like about the Big Ten? Maryland's off to a good start. They beat they swept Baylor. Yeah, that's a good way to start the season. You guys, what do you see in this league? Who's going to be that sleeper that you guys are going to go? Wait a minute, I didn't see them coming out of nowhere to become a very good team for that trip to Omaha.
Well, Maryland's strong ball club, and we knew that before the season started because of what they're returning on the mound and their starting rotation. So Maryland's good. The one thing I like or don't like about our conference is it's just downright tough. Like we're competitive top to bottom. I've said it from the day I got in this conference 12 years ago. It's a black and blue conference. We beat each other up, and credit to all the coaches and the programs in our conference and the work that they do. It's just tough. And the team that's going to come out of the dust is a team that gets on a roll and gets going at the right time and is able to string some things together. Maryland's got it going right now. We've got to figure out our starting pitching. I like our offense. We figure out our starting pitching. I think we got a chance to come out of the dust.
That's true. Well, Coach Frank, I hope you have a safe trip tomorrow to Cincinnati. Maybe one day you guys will be playing in the Reds ballpark because they're looking for some people to play in their ballpark. Because
Man, I hope I love this game of baseball. I come home and fall asleep to the game every night on TV, and I hope like heck they figure this out.
Yeah, I hope they decide that they are taking the hit. Because this country doesn't need that right now. With this stuff going on, and I feel like and real quick before I let you go, another question: with this lockout, does anybody in your players talk to you about what's going on? Because you used to be a former major leaguer. You were in the minor leagues, and you had to go through some of this stuff. Did they always come up to you and ask you questions?
I've got guys that I'm on the line with, no doubt about it. I saw Travis Lakins last weekend when we were in Florida. Lakins is in the big leagues with the Orioles, and he's coming back from an injured season. He wants to get going. The biggest thing that I'm not talking to him about what's going on in Major League Baseball. I'm talking to him about keeping themselves prepared. We've got guys that are still at our facility here in the off season working out. I just want to make sure that I'm helping them and giving them whatever resources they need to make sure that they're prepared for when the bell rings and they decide it's time to go play baseball.
That's cool. Well, Coach, good luck tomorrow. Safe trip, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you so much.
Good night.
Good night. All right, folks. That's Coach Greg Beadle, the head coach. Beals, the head coach of Ohio State. I'm trying to get the names correct here. I know. I need the George hand to pop out of this little video here. Yeah.
Guess what?
Very good.
Thanks, dude.
No, but that's true. People just realize, you're Ohio State. You have the big budget, but everybody in that big budget is divided in 16 different sports, and it all depends on what you have.
I only spelled it out for him before he started that segment to show him how to say it, and he still messes it up. Come on, man.
You just got come on, man.
Speaking of come on, man, let's get let me get Coach Pat here on the phone here. Hello, Coach Pat Skerry. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, congratulations on winning the CA last night. I was at a dinner and I came home and I got to check the Towson won. And how long did you stay up and party all night?
You know what? I was up early this morning watching the game and watching some film. So we enjoyed last night, though, Chris. It was a great team win. That's
great. Yeah, because I've been following you guys for years, and it's been every year this time it's been one of those, like, you guys have a great regular season, and then we get to the postseason, and then all of a sudden something doesn't go in the right way. So do you feel like this year everything's clicking at the right time?
Well, you hope so. It certainly did. Last couple of weeks, and our guys are off today, and we got to get ready for the conference tournament. I mean, you have to. You have to do what you do, and you have to execute, and then you get hope for a little bit of good fortune. Our guys they're smart enough, and they respect the game enough to know that they can be beat by anyone. But just whoever we get to play next Sunday, we've got to play well in order to try to get another win in advance. I mean, it's as simple as that sounds. That's the reality of it.
Yeah. So on the opening round is you're taking on the winner of William and Mary and Northeast. Northeast the last couple of years have been in the final. This year has been a real struggle for Bill Cohen up there in Boston. William and Mary normally has been in the middle of the pack this year. But this year they've been struggling as well. So this 8-9 game is really one of those tough games that you can't really pick, and you have to get ready for one of those teams.
Yeah, we'll try to prepare for both teams this week. Northeastern beat us up there in a hard football game, and we have great respect for those guys. And William Mary played really well in our place. We got a little bit of separation late, so it's whoever it is, it's gonna be a hard game. All the teams are good and they're well coached, and we've got to do what we do.
Exactly. Hey, George, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
The hardest part for a coach after coming off a win and a season where you're playing a couple days a week is this long layover. The one thing I hear that all coaches say is that rust buildup. There's only so much that you can play inter squad. What are you going to do to try and keep the guys fresh and keep their mind clear until next Sunday?
Yeah, we were off today. Tomorrow, some film, a lot of shooting and lifting, and then on Thursday and Friday, we'll have quite a bit of contact to try to stay sharp. I think one thing that's really helped us this year is some of the young kids in our program, and we have 4 terrific walk-ons, and so they've been able to kind of put in some Northeastern actions and Northeastern defense, and we try to simulate them a little bit more and play against their stuff as we prepare, or do the same for William Mary. And I think that's been really, really helpful for us.
Yeah. Well, Pat, talk about your coaches. You got to give your coaches some love, because they do a lot of help you out with scouting the other team, making sure you're all set for your game plan. Just talk about them. They do a lot of behind the scenes work to get you basically if you look good on TV.
Well, I appreciate you guys asking that. We've obviously had a lot of really good staff members here, and this is arguably the best staff we've ever had. I've got Kevin Clark, who's been with me since I've gotten here, who's an associate coach, and Pat O'Connell has been here in different roles to 10 out of my 11 years, and we elevated him to associate coach this past year. So really happy for those guys. Parfait Bate became an assistant coach this year and has done a great job for us. Our operations guy who handles most of the logistics, Jordan Malkin, really good young coach, and then Chris Conway, a local guy, who's a very good player up at Delaney High School, joined our staff this year after being an assistant at Millersville. He's done a great job. And my trainer, Matt Cabe, is new. He's kept the guys healthy, and our strength coach, Amit Vor, has been an absolute rock star for us. So I'm really, really excited about our staff.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Coach, again, congratulations on the win there. How much of that of a morale booster was it to your squad to have such a magical moment this early in their careers?
It was just, it's a funny game to start with 18:42 left and be down 9, and we got off to a great start, and there was a ton of energy in the building, and that really, really helped us. You try to recruit good players to Towson and coach at a high level in the CAA because you want to play meaningful games in February and March, and we're really appreciative that we're back with the opportunity to do that this year.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Coach Pat, real quick to ask you, do you feel like you have a home field advantage on Sunday? Because basically Towson is technically, if you want to look at it, the home team, because there's nobody in D.C. that is part of the CAA, right?
Well, no, there's not. And, we hope we have a lot of black and gold in the stands on Sunday. That would be really, really helpful, and that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I hope so too, because Sunday is actually my birthday, so hopefully you could bring a win, so we can, because I'm trying to recruit some victories for myself, because normally during my birthday time, I watched Met spring training. They're not playing this year, so it's like forget that. But I was like, let's get Pat to give me a win. Can Pat give me a win?
We'll do our best to make that happen, my friend.
That works. That works. Well, Coach Pat, you sound like you had a long day today. How many people called you this morning? Because I got up at 4:30 and Channel 13 was playing the highlights from last night, and Fox 45 was doing that too. How many people gave you was your phone going off the hook today?
A couple hundred texts when we got home last night. It was just, it's nice that a lot of people are noticing our players, our program, and our great university.
That's awesome. Well, we here at the station, we're really happy. We're really excited for you because we've been with you since basically when you took over for Pat Kennedy. That was a long time ago. And so
you guys have been loyal.
Yeah, we've been with you guys. I know I wasn't there this year with the COVID stuff because I got stuck with COVID here. But I did watch you from afar. We did have you on the game before Ohio State, so I guess that taught you guys how to play against some top teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, have fun with. Good luck. Enjoy this week. Soak it in, and I hope to see you Sunday. And hopefully, you could bring home a W for my birthday, and we'll keep this thing rolling.
All right, you take care, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach Pat. See ya. All right, folks. That's Coach Pat Skerry from Towson, who he sounds like a tired guy.
Yeah, he sounded like he was pretty wore out. I mean,
he's got this much energy left, and it's just like, cut the guy loose, cut him loose, let him go.
That's why I was trying to let him go because I felt like he was going to fall asleep on the phone. Yeah. Hey, it's great for small. It's great for small programs like Towson. It gets like in this area, it's fascinating. Like men's, the Maryland men's basketball team's not doing so well, but you got Towson who won 20 games. You got the women's team for Maryland has 20 wins. The Towson ladies team has 21 wins. So it's showing that there's more basketball in the state of Maryland than just the University of Maryland.
The madness is about to begin.
Yes, the 2 weeks of games until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Good old CBS.
Yeah. Hey, now it's on CBS TV, TBS, TNT, True TV, the George Bashir Network.
this guy right here, his work from home days are Thursday and Friday.
Oh wow!
Guess what?
TV set up in your studio.
I got TV right across the way. I have a clear shot at the TV.
Is there a phone call coming on that day going, hey, Papa John's, can you hook me up with 3 large cheese pizzas? Honey, what do you want?
Right?
Yeah, you got to keep the wife happy. But it starts this week, folks, with the March Madness. Like tomorrow with the ACC Women's Tournament down in Greensboro. That starts tomorrow, along with the Big Ten out there in Indianapolis for the ladies as well. It's basically the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If you don't like college basketball, I guess you will you try not to watch ESPN.
Well, what's even better is when I got my new phone, I got ESPN Plus for free. Oh. So I can watch TV right here.
You'll be like, hey, I'm not missing a game. Not missing the game at all. Nope. Where are you? In the garage. It'd be like that episode of King of Queens. You go into the your car to watch the Final Four, and like, oh, I have to go to work. Yep. I'm in there. So so Towson plays on Sunday at 12 noon. The winner of the William Mary Northeastern game. So that's going to be a very interesting game because Northeastern last couple of years made it to the CAA final, but this year they're basically in a rebuilding year. And William & Mary, 5-26. That's it's not really a good record, but it's just
anything's possible,
right?
Chris, I mean, this is the beginning of those bracket busters. Okay, all you got to do is have something happen, pop along the way. I mean, a 16 seed beat a 1 seed. It's not impossible that it starts back in the divisions.
Mm-hmm. Where were you that night when UMBC beat Virginia? Because I came back from the ACC tournament, and
my
that
goodness.
week, and I knew the guy from Virginia was hurt. Their big man, because he was not playing in the final. I'm like, okay, this is going to be. And I hear like, oh, they're going to be okay, but if they get to the second round, do you think they took UMBC lightly and they're thinking like, they could just breeze right through Charlotte?
I couldn't believe that. I mean, I called my brother, that he's down there in Maryland.
Yeah.
My brother and my nephew jumped in the car and drove to UMBC.
Nice.
So,
What was the experience like there? Did he tell you how crazy, or it was nutty as anything?
he said it was just crazy. But then again, the whole logo thing, that their logo went nuts.
Yeah.
Their followers just rapidly increased over that period of time.
Yeah, I knew the guy who was behind the Twitter. His father just passed away this past year, Jeff Heidel. His son was running the Twitter handle. And,
Okay.
I was sitting there watching the UMBC thing. I'm like, and his son's name popped up on the screen. So I called his father. And I said, do you have your son's phone number? Because I would like to get him on the air. And he goes, yeah. So I was literally working the phones on Saturday morning trying to get a hold of him, And it was like he was like, wow. He goes, I got interviewed by CBS. I got interviewed by, everybody, and and that game was interesting because we have a mutual friend who normally used to come on the show. The guy with the the camera. We found the video, Nicole and I. We got to play it another time for you. Yeah, but Matt, he calls me up. He goes, well, it's UMBC is going to be winning this game. I was like, dude, it just started the second half. I was like, how are you predicting a win when they just tipped off in the second half? Like, he's like, oh, my projectoring. I'm like, what are you? What's this? For the presidential election? Like your NBC? We got Obama with the win in Maryland. Like really? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it was really interesting. And then they played against who did they play after that? They gave them a scare, and
oh, they did. They lost the next round, but they really did give them a scare.
Yeah, I think let me type in UMBC. Let's see. They'll pop up here. All right. So they beat Virginia 74-54. And then let's see here. They got to show us what's the next game. Anyway, I think they gave the other team a scare.
They did give them a scare.
Yeah, I want to say Georgetown. I could be wrong. But I don't remember who was in that Charlotte division. Because he goes George in the research department. He's researching it big time. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, our stats analyst as well as co-host on the show here.
Yeah.
Got that straight.
Yeah. So at that game for UMBC, they were a 20-point underdog. If you were a gambling guy, you'd probably be right now, winning. You might be buying yourself a house or, a new car or paying off your bills, because nobody picked UMBC to beat them. And it's like, we're like, who the hell? Who's Maryland Baltimore County?
Wasn't that just a couple years ago?
Yes, 2018. Actually, on Sports Center.
Oh, they didn't have it on their homepage. Oh, see?
Yeah, so beat Vermont.
Results 2017-2018 season, right?
Right. They played Kansas State.
Yep.
They lost 50-43, and Kansas State had a kid from Maryland on there as well. So it was the kid. I forget the kid's name, but I had him on the program. But it was funny. It was like the whole NCAA tournament. I found people from the state of Maryland playing on different teams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really neat. So let's get back to the state of Maryland. Let's bring in the head coach of Frostburg University, Coach Andy Williams here. Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thanks for
Coach.
coming on tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Feeling good. You know, we had a practice, first practice on our field, so it was today. So we enjoyed that. Some decent weather in Western Maryland today, so all is good.
That's cool. Yeah, it's going to get nice and warm the next couple of days, so you guys are going to be very excited. But you got to go down to North Carolina, so it's like they want to stay home.
We just got back from North Carolina, and it was 80 degrees on Friday, and
wow, that's crazy. I think he's frozen. You still there? You still there?
Nope, he's frozen.
He's frozen.
He's not doing the George. He's back.
He's back.
I can hear you guys. Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, you froze a little bit there. Yeah, with
Yeah,
the
you
internet.
froze.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're going down to North Carolina on this Friday again, taking on New Haven at 2:00 in the same, where the baseball facilities for United States Baseball. So what was it like playing on those fields? Are they very good?
Yeah, they're immaculate. So they got about 6 fields. They have a stadium and they have about 5 backfields, and they're all, state of the art, well maintained. We went. My first year back at Frostburg was 2020. We went down there for a couple trips, and so this will be our first time back since COVID. But yeah, we're excited. We got a game in the stadium on Saturday night against Westchester. They've won a national championship at the D2 level in the last 5 years or so. So we'll be tested, schedule wise. But yeah, the guys are looking forward to it. It's a great trip. It's right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a great area. You got a lot of baseball down there between NC State, UNC, Duke, all those teams in that area. So we're looking forward to going down and hopefully enjoying some nice weather again and, keeping this thing rolling.
That's cool. George, go ahead.
So, Coach, you got your guys off to a 7-0 start. A couple close games, but pretty much other games were just pretty much a blowout. 7-0 is pretty good. It's a pretty good start, but as we all know, right, you can't get too excited about early season wins. What are you trying to do with the guys to give them some challenge, on their off days or during a baseball game?
Well, I think the challenge is just going to come in the schedule itself. I mean, it's going to get harder. We talked about this. I already mentioned some of the opponents this weekend, but we're getting ready for conference play. So that's what these non-conference games early in the season are for. Opportunities for us to, settle on a consistent lineup, figure out our starting rotation on the mound, who those key bullpen pieces are going to be for us. And I think we've done that. As you mentioned, we've had some games that got tilted early and it allowed us to get some other guys in some experience. We have a lot of new guys on this team. But really for us, it's 7-0 or 0-7. I mean, our process kind of stays the same. I know that's coach talk, but we try to just keep at the consistent process of what we need to do day in and day out. Now, if we're 0-7, maybe we got to reevaluate that process a little bit more. But, we're just trying to stick to what do we got to do on Tuesday to get better? What do we got to do on Wednesday? What's that schedule look like? And, just chipping away at it day by day, knowing that the finish line is deep into May, hopefully getting to the conference tournament. So, but yeah, we're off to a nice start and we've got a nice offense. They've been able to put up some runs. We ran into a couple good arms, played some couple close games, which we need to play. So it's been good so far.
It's staying on the safe side of adversity.
Yeah, I mean, adversity is good though. You grow through that. So
Absolutely.
We faced a really good arm on Saturday against Trewan in that 4-3 game. We actually trailed 1-0 and then 3-2 for the first time all season. We had trailed in a game. So, look, hey, we were 14-25 last year and missed the playoffs. So we're not taking anything for granted.
Yeah, it's always good to get off in the season 7-0. It's a good start. So you guys feel like everything's clicking at the right time. So they might be, by the time we get down to April and May, you'll be like, hey, that 7-0 start really helped us, get into conference play and be really well and get better. And, you can start getting to this, you get some, postseason games.
Well, like most teams, for us, it's going to be about can we pitch, right? And I think getting off to some good starts in games has taken some stress off of our pitching staff. We got some pretty good run support. So it's allowed guys to kind of go out there and execute on the mound. And I think that'll pay dividends for us down the road as some of these pitchers, we're trying, like I said, trying to figure out our rotation. And it's allowed them to kind of breathe, relax, go out there, know, hey, we just put up a 5 spot in the first inning. They can kind of go out and relax and just play. So,
Steve, you got anything? George, you got anything?
Coach, first of all, I love that Wilson, Cary area of North Carolina. I used to travel down there on business, so it's a great area to be in.
Sure.
The weather, as you said, has been kind of difficult on you. What's it like to finally get outside versus probably practicing indoors?
Well, a lot of people probably don't know this, but we've actually been outside we started on January 22nd with our first practice. We've been outside every day except for 2 when it's just been so ridiculously cold. Now we're being creative here. We have a turf football field. Our baseball field is natural surface. So today was the first day we were able to really get on our field with the dirt and everything thawed out. So, but we've been taking advantage of the turf football field, which is right behind our field. And, hey, if it's 20 and snowing, we might not go out for very long, but we're going to go out. Our guys are going to long toss. Our pitchers are going to stretch their arms out. We're going to take some ground balls on the turf, knowing that we play on turf quite a bit during the season. And I think that mindset and has really kind of, I don't want to say toughened our guys up a little bit, but understand that, hey, weather's no excuse for us. We got a job to do, and I think we're going to be prepared to face some of the elements because, let's face it, like I said, we go to North Carolina in February, it's still a coin flip what the weather is going to be like. So we ran into an 80-degree day on Friday. Guys are getting sunburned, and then we turn around on Saturday, and the high was 40, and, the wind was whipping. So, it's a wild card until we get probably into late March. So.
How often when you do, if you're playing when it's snowing, that you have to go look for the ball after you hit it if it gets buried in the snow?
Well, not so much in games. That doesn't really happen. But in practice, you better believe it. Our grounds crew at Frostburg does an awesome job of plowing the turf because we have men's and women's lacrosse. They're out there practicing in the same weather. So they'll pile all the snow up behind the track and along the sides. And when you're out there on a football field practicing, overthrows and things like that, ball's going to go in the snow pile, and you got to go dig them out. So we try to make sure our guys are pretty good at playing catch, so we don't have to do that too often. But I mean, we're up front with these guys in the recruiting process. They know what they're signing up for. They know in February and a little bit of March, you're going to have to battle some elements. We went down to West Virginia to open the season, and our first practice on the field. It was snowing there day before opening day, and so it was just kind of Frostburg weather, and we don't mind it.
So when you have a snow pile, is that a ground rule double?
On the field, I don't think we would be playing in that, but
I'm just wondering, you got to put your hands up. Hey, can't find it. Can't find it.
Well, I won't name any schools, but I know some that I've played in the past that they would pile all the snow in center field to make it a little difficult on the batters to see. So I've dealt with that before, but no, I mean, we're hoping that everything's breaking now, and but we're off to a good start considering that our first time on a baseball field was opening day. So I'm proud of the guys for, they don't complain. They get out. They know it might suck one day, but they know they're going to get better for 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, whatever it takes. And we have 3 indoor cages, which we're able to take advantage of. We have a lot of indoor space at Frostburg, so we're well equipped to deal with the snow.
Yeah. We'll talk about the home opener March 19th. I guess you guys are counting the days. Hopefully it's nice weather because, like you said, you're in Frostburg. This last week we saw on the news the weather. You guys had 20 degrees one morning. It was like cold morning out. It gets colder out in Western Maryland than we get here. I think Oakland sometimes gets in 0. It's like, geez.
Well, so I live in Deep Creek, and that's about 30 minutes from campus. And it gets colder here than it does in Frostburg. It's crazy how you go up the mountain. Once you get to Cumberland, it starts kind of rising elevation, and then you get colder temps and more snow. March 19th is our home opener, and we hope that the weather cooperates for sure. But like I said, we're able to get on the field now. March 1st was the first day outside on our field, but it is what it is, and we should be ready to go. We got a couple more weeks to go and getting the field prepped, and I think we have 3 games this weekend and a 4-game series in Wilmington, Delaware next weekend. So 7 more games before we start our conference schedule.
Well, that's good. Well, Coach Williams, thank you so much for coming on, and have a safe trip down to North Carolina. Hopefully, keep bringing the warm weather up to us. So keep it up, so we can get ourselves outside and get ready for some spring baseball, and we can forget about this cold winter we had here.
These kids are tough, man. They go out and play in some tough conditions. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and I appreciate you guys following us, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Thanks for coming on. See you.
Bye. Take care.
That's Coach Williams, the manager of the Frostburg University baseball team. It used to be Frostburg State back when I first got here in the state of Maryland, but I guess they dropped the word state. So it's not bad. But George, try to play baseball in April with a metal bat, and it's cold.
No, it doesn't work. No.
It's like hitting a rock.
Yeah, it's like you foul one off, you jam it, and you're like, oh my god,
You get a stinger.
Yeah. Just ask my father. My father used to play like softball, and I said in some cold mornings on Long Island, and he goes, yeah. When you have a metal bat and they jam you, you go home and your hands hurt. And
I can't imagine doing that with a wood bat.
Right. And you bring out hand warmers, so you're sitting there with your hand warmers, and I'm going to tell a story real quick before we get Richie on. My father was playing softball. This is a true story, and my dad's been telling me this story for years. Okay, he's sitting at third base. Okay, back in the old days, George, you probably remember they had the hand warmer, so you put them in the pockets, and you put your hand in there, and you put the little So he's sitting at third base, getting his glove ready to go, and his pockets started smoking. So the guy that the team next door goes, the team across the other team goes, hey, third base, you're on fire. My dad goes, yeah, I just hit 3 run. I got 3 RBIs last inning, and yes, I am on fire. My dad doesn't realize his pocket's on fire.
He's smoking.
He's smoking. So they thought he was trying to like harass, making him like not paying attention. Then he goes. So the umpire calls time. I goes, third base, take a look at your pocket. My dad goes, oh shit.
Is that where they got the term hot pockets?
Yeah, exactly. He said it burned a hole in his jacket that he was wearing, and I was like, "Where's the jacket?" He goes, "Oh, your mom got rid of it." I was like, "Oh, okay," because I would love to see what it looked like, like how, But back in the old days, you had these little things that used to crack off.
Yep.
And put them in that little case, and it keeps your hand warm. Now we have the pop them and put them in.
Yep.
Yeah, really interesting. Story there. My dad has tons of stories.
That's a story to live by, man.
I know. It's like I'm sitting here going, wow, you must be on fire. Yeah, I am. So
third base, you're hot.
Yeah, you're hot. You're hot. Coming up at 9:05, we have a Cleveland Guardian to join us, or a former. It used to be called the Cleveland Indians. Richie, how do you say this last name? I've been working really hard on it today.
Palacios.
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 Okay.
Palacios.
Okay. I'm just trying really hard to get decent last names. Sometimes I just butcher them. It's like I should have
That's why you have people like me and George.
Yeah, that's why.
Keep you straight.
Yeah, and that's why I might have a greatest hits package one day, just to have all the last names.
The blooper reel of Chris Heidel's name butcher.
He used to butcher my name.
Hey, I worked really hard on that one. Because you gave me death threats. It's like, you messed up my name. Well, the funny thing is, people don't realize when you do this show, folks, it's live. You get yourself saying to yourself, okay, I can say all the names perfectly. You read the list and you say to yourself, all right, there's any issues. And you even go on video on YouTube and trying to find how to pronounce it. And when you just go right on the air, sometimes you just go, you just choke up because you just, you want to make a good impression for the guy, because you want him to come back on your program. So,
hope. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then at 9:20, we'll talk to Summer's friend. She met at the Lake Placid ski resort. Ashley Caldwell will be joining us. So that was really interesting. Those two met. 14 years ago in the same training facility. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yep. That's a small world.
The world is this small.
Exactly. Very small. So let's go back to our top stories of the day. We're waiting for Richie to join us. You probably saw this. We're not really happy about this guy. Rob Manfred. Saying today the first 2 regular season series has been postponed because of
in which I am going to cancel some regular season games. We worked hard to avoid an outcome that's bad for our fans, bad for our players, and bad for our clubs. I want to assure our fans that our failure to reach an agreement was not due.
Our failure to reach an agreement because I just showed up 2 hours ago. It's like,
That sounds about right.
Like Rob Manfred, he's getting a lot of negative because of this whole thing, because you don't realize he's the commissioner of 32 Major League Baseball teams. He's a boss of 32 different people. And I guarantee he's getting phone calls every day from, different organizations like the Orioles and, and Mets and all that stuff. And, and you're trying to make, you're trying to make everybody happy. But this whole thing is like getting to a point like, just like Harold Reynolds said today on the MLB network, baseball's now taking this back seat to other sports now because they can't decide on what they're doing.
Well, Chris, it's better than having scabs. Remember they tried that?
That's true. Who if they have scabs, who's the scab? Who's a replacement player?
I have no idea, and I'm just glad that it's just a lockout. No one's going to play, because when you try and do that other stuff, it just doesn't work.
They're just going to bring in Billy Bob Thornton and the replacements to start playing baseball games,
Oh, hold on. I got a phone call. Sure, I could pitch next week.
Hey, they got to realize there was actually a former major leaguer who was a replacement player who pitched for the Mets, Rick Reed. Was a pretty decent pitcher after the '94 strike. So that was the only person that came out of the whole, scrub thing, that he was actually a decent pitcher. But everybody else
don't go back. Don't go backwards.
No, and we're just getting out of this whole pandemic thing, and I feel like baseball needs to be there to help bring people back to cities that need help because of the they lost money.
Well, Chris, it's these guys like Richie, right? They're just coming in. They're not going to make a lot of money. There's minimum salary requirements, right? He's not going to be bringing in a paycheck. No. How the heck? How's he going to do his thing? What about the folks that take your tickets, the greeters, the folks at the concession stands? It's a rich man's game, in that perspective, right? It's the owners wanting to maximize money that they're not paying out. Players want to maximize what they can get, right? It's not a good conversation. It's not a good deal for the person down below.
Right. Well, I was talking to Nicole earlier. The Orioles used to be on normal TV. They used to have the game of the week, on Channel 13 or Channel 11.
All the teams did.
Yeah, all the teams. Now it's like, you have to buy Masson, or if you're in New York, you got to buy SNY or the Yes Network.
Or Yes Network, yep.
But up in New York, they actually have it on Channel 9 and Channel 11. They do play a couple games, on over the air.
It's not as many as it used to be. It used to be a daily basis.
Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, Channel 9 was a Mets station, and we had more Met games on Channel 9 than Sports Channel. Sports Channel
WPIX would cover the Yankees.
Yeah. And the MSG network covered the Yankees. They had like some certain games on the MSG network, but now everything's on cable.
Everyone's getting a plus. You got cable, and now everyone's trying to sell the plus.
Right. And to me,
it's just crazy. It's more money. $6.99 to watch a show, to watch a game, and you got the MLB network. You got to pay an outrageous amount of money to watch your team if you live out of market.
Right. And in Indiana, I guess the Cubs are blacked out, right?
Cubs and White Sox.
Yeah.
But there's I believe a channel out of Chicago that covers, but
okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's blackouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I get no Yankee games.
No. Well, it's funny. My parents are down in Virginia right now, and during the summer, my parents were down there. They get I think they told me one day that they actually get. Yeah, bring them on in 2 seconds. They actually have they got Nationals games, but the Oriole games got blacked out. And they're in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and DC's closer to Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, George, I want to give you the honors of bringing this gentleman in. How about this? Yeah.
You want me to bring him in?
Yeah, bring him in. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce you to Richie Palacios of the Cleveland Indians. How you doing, Rich?
How's it going? Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, it's the Guardians now. You can't say
Guardians.
Indians. You can't say
That's right. I said Indians. I still think they play at the Jake.
I know. I was thinking about watching Major Leagues today, the movie. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who their new mascot's going to be. Is it going to be Rocket? Is it going to be Groot?
Groot. Probably Groot. Groot would be.
I think I saw a
Groot would
picture
be
on their
good.
Twitter page the other day. It's like a chicken. I'm like, how is that a mascot? It's like, I didn't even know there's chicken in Cleveland. I know there's a supermarket, but come on, stop using a chicken as a, like, come on. And this guy right here, his family is from Cleveland.
Oh, for real?
And you have an old 1954.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
my grandmother was a diehard Indian fan for her entire lifetime, and when she passed away back in 2014, being a first-generation grandkid, I got to get an item from the house, as a memorial, as a remembrance. And she had a baseball that was signed by all of the 1959 Cleveland Indian team.
Wow, that's history right there.
Wow.
Yeah. And the funny thing, he comes over to my parents' house sometimes. My dad goes, I'll give you $55 for that. And I'm like, really, Dad? You're not an Indians fan. You're from New York. What are you going to do with it?
And he's lowballing you.
I know. I told him, like, really, Dad? You don't lowball the guy. Yeah. So.
But to check for its, genuine, I went and had it authenticated, and everything came back as authentic autographs. There's,
Oof.
I think, like 8 or 9 Hall of Famers on that ball right now.
Yeah, you better keep that somewhere safe.
You got to get that ball holder.
Wow. Crazy. So, Richie, thanks for coming on. You're a Towson grad. You must be excited about their basketball team making into the number 1 seed in the CAA conference for the basketball. It's pretty. You must be excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing them in the tournament. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, they were solid when I was there, but not as good as they are now.
Yeah. So we had your coach on last couple weeks, Coach Matt. He said hi. He's like, I texted him yesterday, and he goes, "My man's on TV. That's cool."
That's my guy right there.
Yeah. So what was it like, playing for Coach Matt? Because he seems like he's the former Miami Hurricane, and seems like he wants to turn Towson around and make it into a very good school for baseball. And he had you in the outfield, infield, and all that stuff. Yeah, you're basically I think you were like the first one in a long while made it all the way to the supposed major leagues if we have a season.
Yeah. Coach Tyner is amazing. He's intense, which is good. He's really intense, but he has the intense side of it and still having fun with it. So that's what is a great characteristic of him. And I think he will definitely. They've been improving already. They've been playing well. I've been watching some of the games. They're playing close games with some big time schools. So I think definitely he will continue to improve that program, and hopefully they'll be a powerhouse one day.
That's true. Go ahead, George.
So Richie, you are at a tough spot, man. We were talking before you came on about this whole lockout deal, and you're a guy who's trying to break in, and get his feet into the dirt and play some games, and now you're going to have to wait. What are your feelings?
I mean, honestly, it's not many. Just continue to grind every day, knowing that stuff will take care of itself whenever it is. But just grinding every day and taking this time to improve my game even more. So once we do hit that season, it's smooth sailing. So it kind of feels like 2020 again, quarantine, where you're getting ready, but you don't know when you're getting ready for. So it's a very similar feel, but like I said, I mean, some guys are going to take this time to improve themselves and get better, and some guys aren't. And I'm going to be one of those guys that's going to improve myself through this time.
That's cool. Are you getting the batting cages around there? We're making sure you're loose, ready to go. Maybe that phone call might come soon and go, hey, get to Arizona. We got spring training.
Yeah. I've been working out every day. Doing the same off-season routine that I usually do. I'm actually already in Arizona. That's where I live in the off-season.
Cool.
So I'm out here for this time being. So it's been a weird off-season, but it's been pretty awesome.
Do you see a lot of your teammates around there? Because I know that's where the Indians are training. Do you see are they all there waiting just to say, okay, we're ready to go?
Decent amount of guys are here waiting. Decent amount. A lot of guys just naturally live out here.
Okay.
They got places out here, so I see those guys every now and then. But yeah, so I check in with the guys. There's guys from a lot of teams that have came over recently, because they're hoping to get it started soon, and this is a good place to be.
Yeah, I got to ask you. Last year, you had a chance to play in Double-A with Akron, and you came to Bowie, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you were with Towson. I was like, oh, I missed the series, when you guys were there, taking on the Bay Sox. What was it like having people calling you? Did they ask you for tickets? Did they ask you to come over to dinner?
Yeah, I mean, all my
how was it?
No, it was awesome. It was an awesome series. All my coaches actually got to come from Towson, and a lot of my college teammates, like, they all hit me up and were like, yo, can you leave us tickets? And I was like, yeah. So I probably left tickets for like 30, 40 people. I'm putting other people's names on there and stuff. You know how it goes. But yeah, it was pretty dope to play in front of like so many friends. And it was weird because like I was literally playing with those guys like a couple years ago, and now they're coming to support me. So it was a pretty cool experience.
And you hit a home run. I don't know what game was that in that series, but you hit a home run. It was tied 7-7. So that must have been an awesome thrill to hit a home run and have everybody cheering for you, and people in baseline and Bowie going like, "What are you cheering?"
Yeah. The announcer, I heard, he said it was like, "Oh, he has some friends, I guess, in the stands," because everyone was screaming when I went yard.
Yeah, look at this pitch. This was basically a good old meatball. Like just put it right down the pipe. I know it's extra top of the 11th. You want to go home. You want to go back to the hotel, but I would have hit that. George, you probably would have hit that, right?
You would have.
I would have delivered a much faster pitch.
Hey, I did that once before. I used to play rec baseball, up to travel baseball, and I hit one time in up at John Carroll High School. There's up here. There's the tennis courts, and I hit one all the way to the tennis courts, and I stopped and looked at it because I never hit the ball that far before. I was like, wow. I was like, that's a bomb.
You surprised yourself.
So I did the old Mark McGuire, chuck the bat, and then my brother goes, you got a triple out of it. I was like, okay, first of all, I was amazed that I hit one out, almost out of the tennis court, and the guy almost caught it. And my father was at the first base coach. He's like telling the guy, the runner on first base, get the beat back to first base. And the guy dropped it, and he goes, keep going. And then the next at bat, I actually did exactly the same, and the guy was playing it right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like in New York City, we have a lot of that because our like public parks, there's like no fences. So in high school, like the guys would be playing like 400 feet away, and you hit like a bomb that you think should be a homer if the field had a fence, and guys are just like camped under it. You're like, all right, there goes that.
Yeah, I came back one time. I had like a couple of years off from baseball, and I said I'm going to come back and play in this league. And the first at bat, I hit one down the right field line. I was trying to do the Carlton Fisk,
move it.
Yeah, stay there. And my dad goes, "You're not Carlton Fisk." I'm like, "No, I'm not." But I was like, I didn't. The first at bat back, and I hit one right down the line. I'm like, "Hey, this is pretty cool." I'm looking like, "Come on, stay fair. Come on." Foul ball. Yeah, that's not
like
great.
Like a rookie of the year. It's fair. It's foul. It's fair. It's foul.
Fair ball. But but it's cool when you hit a home run. That feeling, hitting that home run, it must be a cool feeling off that bat.
Yeah, it definitely is a dope one. Something you look forward to doing a lot. So definitely love that.
Yeah, I play a little bit of rec ball with some of my friends because I have a habit of collecting baseballs. I've got a whole bucket full of them, and every now and then a group of friends of mine, we go to a baseball field and we just take turns, hammering away, seeing, who can hit it furthest. Make a little friendly competition out of it. But
Yeah, you gotta love that.
Yeah. So what's the plan for you for now until you get that call? I guess you just have to work out and
just
stay
work.
healthy and make sure you're ready to go. And
Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Just locking in, grinding every day, doing the same stuff, studying the game, and figuring out ways to get better while that other stuff take care of itself. So it's an interesting, very unique time. Definitely a unique time.
have you ever got a chance to study other pitchers in the American League? Getting ready to look at them, you're like, wow, I'm going to face that guy one day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like in the past year, like when you get to the upper levels of the minors and you start to watch more like major league games, you're like not watching it as a fan anymore. You're watching it as to like figure out, okay, this guy does this a lot, and like eventually I'm gonna face him like sooner than later. It's like pretty cool to study the opponent like that.
Yeah, I don't know if the Mets are playing the Guardians this year, but you got Max Scherzer and DeGrom and all that stuff. That must have been, if you do play them, you'd be like, oh god. Yeah. Maybe I'll put the bat out and see if I can get a bunt out of that one. But just talking about, you have a good, your staff's pretty good as well. You have your coach Terry Francona, is a well-known manager, and you're ready to get some information from him and learn what he did in Major League. So he was good with the Expos and good with managing the Phillies and Red Sox.
Yeah, he's definitely a renowned coach. Definitely knows what he's talking about, for sure. So I'm excited, hopefully, to work with him this season, whenever that is, and that'll be pretty sick.
That's cool. Well, real quick before I let you go, what's your fondest memory of Towson baseball? I know that field down there off of, that field's been remodeled. It looks really well kept now. So, is there any cool memories from there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's probably my walk-off home run. That was probably one of the sickest moments of my career. That was my junior season against Hofstra. So I'd say the walk-off grand slam is definitely my finest memory there. That was sick. That was part of an epic comeback with the guys. So it was a dope experience.
That's awesome. Walk-off grand slam. Did you touch second base before they started jumping on you? Like
yeah.
Like the grand slam single.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, really? But that's crazy. Well, Richie, thanks for coming on. I'm glad that Coach Matt gave me your cell phone, and thanks for responding to me. And good luck. We'll keep an eye on you. Hopefully, we'll get this whole lockout situated over with, and we can see some baseball. And maybe when you come to Baltimore, and they got a new left field, I heard.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're remodeling the left field wall. It's not going to be a short fence anymore. They're making it a 10-foot wall, and they're moving it 30 feet further back.
Oh my!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I knew they were moving back. I didn't know they were making it taller as well.
Yeah, they're getting tired of the pop-up fly balls that go out of the ballpark.
Yeah, no more robbing homers.
But don't go opposite field on them, okay? You won't be able to.
They got that short flag court porch in right field. I'm up there all the time. I'm always waiting for a souvenir to come flying up there.
All right, I got you, my guy.
Yeah, get them one and get everybody to sign it with all the Indians. Yeah. So you have the 1959 version, and you got the Guardians' first year.
Yeah, that'd be
that'd be pretty cool.
That'd
be a pretty cool idea.
That'd be a great collector's item, and you might retire off of that.
Yeah.
Well, Richie, thanks for coming on tonight, and be well, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great time.
Good luck.
All
right, take care.
See you, Richard. All right, Richie.
Palacios.
Yep. I loved having George help me out there, so I didn't look like an idiot.
There's a difference between that and normality.
Hey, George calls me up sometimes and asks me, George calls me, when there's a problem, and it's like, you have any time to talk? Like the other day I was like outside, I was at work, and like my phone, I text you like, are you working? And then like he called me twice, and I'm like, okay, is it an emergency or? I'm like, yeah, that's why I text you back like, are you off today?
You know what we should try doing, Chris?
What?
We should try a road trip. We should try getting together at a Cleveland game when the season gets back and starts.
Yeah, I would love to go to Cleveland and watch an Indians.
That would be freaking great. Make a guy's weekend out of it.
Yeah, if it's okay, I got to talk to the lady of the house here. I have to get special clearance. If that's okay, I got to give her a 2-week notice. She's giving me the look.
Dude.
I'm in trouble already. I'm already sleeping on the couch because we were really in a new bed anyway. So I'm already there.
Very good, Ashley.
Let's bring in this lady who's been sitting here nice and patiently. Ashley Caldwell, who did a fantastic job in Beijing with the freestyle skiing. Hi, Ashley. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Well, we had a friend of yours on the program earlier. And she wanted to say hello and how are you doing?
Who was that?
That was Summer.
Nice.
Yeah. So we were trying to get her back on, but she went out to dinner. So you may want to give her.
Yeah, I just came back from dinner, but yeah, I got a chance to see her at opening ceremonies, but unfortunately, with the different villages, we weren't able to see each other that much at the games.
Mm-hmm. How was the opening ceremonies? They looked pretty cool with all the. Different, the people that kept dancing, the whole thing.
I know, like the cardio work they had to put in for that.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You feel the atmosphere of the games finally when you get to walk into opening and you just really feel part of Team USA. And it was pretty cool just to be there for the 4th time and with some of my peers that I've been working really hard with. It was a good moment to be there.
Yeah, well, congratulations on winning the gold medal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's it like getting that big chunk of metal around your neck? How's that?
It's pretty incredible. It felt pretty surreal. I think it still feels surreal, but we've been working for a long time for that medal, and to do it alongside my teammates was pretty incredible. Been working really hard, and it was a very stressful year. So very proud.
Go ahead, George.
Chris, you should see this picture on Yahoo News. Her face tells the whole story. She's like, you could just tell she's like, I can't believe that I'm standing on the podium in the gold spot. It's just amazing. So definitely congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I think maybe Chris and Justin just thought it was super easy. It was their first game. So they just pop out a gold medal, and 4th time. So I definitely felt very elated in the moment.
So who has the gold medal? Does your mom have it? Because I know I hear stories that people.
Oh, Chris!
There we go.
Chris,
I've got it. I have it.
That's good.
Chris, you got a gold medal on the show.
Chris should probably give his to his mom, but no, I've been carrying mine around. Everyone wants to see it, and it's a community effort, so I want to be able to share it with people all the time.
Go ahead.
Now, is that actually real gold, or is it?
Yeah, it's not full gold. But it's a lot of there's a bunch of gold, and I think it has to be a certain weight, and there's measurements. It's pretty heavy.
It's a certain percentage gold.
Yeah, a certain percentage. I'm not sure, but it's heavy. It's a pound, 1.3 pounds.
Wow.
Well,
so you could do some exercises with it.
Well, when you won the gold medal, when you got the medal the next day, did you take it to breakfast? Did you take it to like the Stanley Cup? All over the place.
Yeah, so we got it. We competed at night, and we didn't get it till the next following night. So we got it, and we walked into dinner with them on. But then after that, a lot of people are in the village getting them, and I just think, after that we kind of kept them away, and we're focused on our individual events after.
That's cool. That's awesome. So just talk about the conditions there. It seemed like it was a man-made snow. It seems like you were like skiing at Ski Liberty up in
Yeah, I was ready for that. I'd already skied, I skied like that before, so I was prepared. But the snow was weird because like normal snowmaking that happens when you're blowing snow, it's because it's like too warm and there's not snow. But there, it's just a desert, so the snow is like it's a totally different feel and texture. And for our event, it was actually perfect. And the venues were built completely to spec and were wonderful. All the volunteers and staff were completely like so nice and helpful. The food wasn't the best. I'd be lying if I said that the food was good. But yeah, we just felt like we were in a bubble and pretty safe with COVID procedures, but also super stressed about them no matter what.
Yeah, it was stress for the broadcasters because I think Mike Tirico said he had to hop in a car and go through the metal fence, and it was like basically you're in a camp, trying to keep everybody. And I got to give him credit. There was no outbreaks. There was no.
There were outbreaks, but they didn't talk about them. They were very few outbreaks.
Yeah.
So,
but we didn't get any like message like, well, this event is canceled due to COVID.
No, there was none of that. There were athletes that missed the games that were in the village and they sat in isolation and missed their event. So that's it definitely happened and it was very sad. But yeah, for the most part, everyone was pretty safe. We were so diligent. I mean, there was I came home, my hands were like bleeding because I had used so much hand sanitizer. So we felt pretty safe, and all the volunteers were in full PPE the entire time. So felt pretty safe.
You were born and raised in Montgomery Village, Maryland.
I was born, and then actually I lived in Ashburn, Virginia for most of my childhood.
Okay. But you were born in Montgomery, in Village, Maryland, and moved to Virginia, and now you're out there in Utah. So you've been around a lot, different places.
Yeah, and I lived in New York for a while. My parents split time between Texas and Florida, and lived in South Carolina. So we definitely spent time around the country.
So basically, all the landmarks around pretty much most of the country then.
Yeah, definitely. I feel very fortunate to be able to have traveled so much. I actually just went to Indiana for the first time ever. Justin, my teammate and boyfriend, is from there. So
you didn't stop by and say hello.
George is like, stop by. We don't know you. Just stop by. Yeah,
I should have stopped by.
Where were you?
We were outside of Cincinnati, and then we went to Indianapolis to meet the governor and meet the Senate, state Senate, and House representative, which is pretty fun.
Cool.
I think we're coming back for the Indy 500. We got an invite for the Indy 500.
That's cool.
So we'll be back for that.
Excellent.
I'm going to send George Indianapolis 500.
I'm there.
Yeah, he's in. Twist his arm.
Yeah, I want to meet David Letterman because I think his car is
It's going to be a toss-up between me and him there.
Hey, all three of us will come out. We'll meet Ashley, and we'll bring Nicole with us too, and we'll have a great time in Indiana.
If you have 5 minutes, if I revoke mine, because I might be trying to get one of the cars and go for a
Oh
ride.
yeah, you might be driving around the course. Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring Ashley back into the program here.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Ashley. The freestyle got to be one of the scariest events. Now, Chris was talking to Summer earlier about the luge, which is pretty darn scary with the speeds, okay?
Yeah.
But holy cow, no sticks. You're going down and it's just you, snow, and your skis.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
It's pretty insane. Like, we are scared. Like, everyone thinks that we have no fear, but we're scared a lot of the times. We do some incredible stuff for the little amount of training sometimes that we get. We'll take 2 weeks off, and then within a day we'll be doing triple backflips, which is pretty insane. I've been scared plenty of my career, but that's part of the thrill. Is you're scared and you overcome it, and then you do something sweet. Sometimes that fear is too much, and it really challenges you. But at the games, I actually I realized that I was like so emotionally tapped. I was so tired and stressed, and I had so much anxiety, and I just told myself like I didn't have time for fear. And I like mentally just like switched off my fear, and it was pretty cool. It worked the whole time. I didn't have fear the entire time. I was just so deliberate and focused. Kind of had tunnel vision, which was nice.
And what type of apex feet wise do you get when you're at the peak of the maneuvers on a lot of those? You're probably like 40, 50 feet in the air, right?
Yeah, it was 50 to 60. Wow. Sometimes more. Yeah. And so those triple backflips, we go pretty high. Doubles are 30 to 40, 30, 30ish. So yeah, it's pretty high up in the air. It's insane. And if you watch from like where our coaches stand and look up at us, and it's really high.
Because I mean, on TV, it looks like you don't get the depth perception that you get if you're actually there and you realize, whoa, we're like way up there when they're like.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell when they zoom out. When they zoom out and you see your little coach, and then you're like
your little coach. It's like a Matchbox toy. Like, hey, that guy. Yeah. Hey, you gotta love the backdrop with the power plant. That must have been really exciting.
That was a different venue than mine, so we didn't have a power plant. No power plant for us.
Yeah, that was really
that was the city venue, so we were up in the mountains.
Oh, that's good. That was a lot better because that was kind of like, why did they build one right next to a power plant? That's.
I asked myself the same question, but the Chinese Olympic Committee put on an incredible feat, to be able to host the games, and if they needed to use a power plant as a backdrop, that's what they had to do.
Hey, you could host the Olympic Games in Philadelphia. You got some power plants around there, and
for sure. Cincinnati might, too.
Yeah, 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, we've seen that before. It's like I saw a picture on Twitter. Some guy goes from USA Today. Goes, that looks like outside of Philly. I'm like, okay.
They're just trying to make us feel at home.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is what are you doing now? You're just relaxing. Getting back to what are you
doing? Get a little bit of time off. We were supposed to actually be in Russia right now, and we actually during the Olympics decided that we didn't want to go, and they ended up canceling the events anyways for correct reasons. So we got some time off, but we actually head to New York for national championships, and that's our last event of the season.
Nice. Is that broadcast on NBC or is it on
I'd have to get back to you on that. I think it's on NBC or Peacock or like something.
TikTok, or Peacock. You got to spend, what, $5 to watch Notre Dame?
Why are we bringing Notre Dame into this conversation?
I'm just saying, you
have a gold medalist on your show. Leave Notre Dame out of it.
Well, actually, we were congratulations on winning the gold, and it's pretty cool that you represented, this area, winning a gold medal. And did you get anybody from this area to call you and say, hey, would you like to do an interview, or everybody down in, is it more DC type people?
Yeah, I don't know if you have any recommendations of people who want to do an interview. I'm always in.
Okay, I'll talk to some people. I know some people in this area. I'll send them the video. Like, you want it?
Yeah, this girl's nuts. You want to talk to her?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Ashley, you didn't grow up in the 80s, okay? We would watch ABC Sports on Saturday, and they would lead off with the thrill of victory and agony of defeat.
Oh, I've seen those.
And it's got the freestylist just taking a horrible dive.
Backwards. Yeah, backwards.
Yeah, I've seen some of those videos. They're pretty funny.
I wouldn't even watch it. Nope.
I've done my fair share of crashing, so I know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day while I was sports. I was like, yeah, we don't have that on TV anymore. That used to be the fixture on Saturday. I was thinking about what in the wintertime we had. We had Wild World of Sports. We had
Wild World of Sports.
Bowling before that. Now it's like we just have ESPN running the whole thing. Yeah.
ESPN was the old ABC Sports, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we need some more fun action sports on there for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, enjoy the fireworks afterwards. I was just looking at the schedule for the Nationals. 9:45 is the fireworks show.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
So,
thanks, George.
Hey, I'll bring it.
Hey, that's our statistician up there in Indiana. So, anyway, Ashley, thanks for coming on, and enjoy some time off, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, talk to you soon.
Right.
Thanks, Ashley.
See you. All right, that's Ashley Caldwell, the freestyle skier from Montgomery Village, Maryland, but she lived in Ashburn, Virginia. We're the home of the Commanders now. We can't call them.
No, I'd still say it anyway.
Redskins.
I saw somebody wearing a Redskins hat and jersey the other day. I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had a great show tonight, George. Thanks for staying on for the whole show. That's a first.
I think that this was a really, Chris, you had the gold medal on your show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It made it's like that's an appearance like the world. That's an appearance like the Lord Stanley Cup.
Hey, I want the Stanley Cup, the World Series trophy. I want the Super Bowl trophy. I want the.
Boy, that's a way high expectation.
I want to get I want the PBA Tournament of Champions trophy. You know, I want the.
He's gonna make this up tonight. Next week, he's gonna have a whole bucket list of people he wants to have championships.
I try to be like after we do the show on Tuesday. I try to be like some of the NFL coaches take the day off and get ready for get my regroup and see what I want to do next week. It starts tomorrow. Like not going to happen. Well, next week, folks, we're going to be. We'll see where we are. We're probably going to be down at the CA championship game, but we'll keep a close eye on our website. Let me give the website address for everybody to join it, to see what we're doing, because CA men's basketball championship is on display down there in DC next Tuesday, so we might be on the air a little bit early because if Towson makes it to the championship game, I feel like we need to represent Towson and go down there.
Hey, gotta go, man.
Yeah, and this week we'll have some of the women's ACC women's basketball interviews, post game interviews, from Coach Waltz. Who I will get Coach Waltz hopefully next week from Louisville because they have a down week. I don't know what he does in between tournament games, but they'll be in the NCAA tournament if they win the ACC, they'll be a number 1 seed. But they're the 2 seed. They play Friday. And then Maryland is actually a 3 seed or a 4 seed in the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis. So we'll try to get some audio from there as well. And, well, get ready for March Madness. This is 4 weeks of fun. Papa John's is going to make a lot of money.
Upset alerts.
Yeah. Make sure you have some sick days because I know when I was I always try to get Friday off and go up and see the games with my brother. And we used to buy, enough about pizzas and wings and just have a guy's day. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, folks, we will see you all next Tuesday. Yes. Stay tuned. Go to our website. We'll tell you where we're going to be next week. Now, until then, I'm Chris Heidel. That's George Britcher, who's the man in Indiana with all the stats. We want to say thank you to all the great athletes to join us, like Ashley Caldwell and
well, don't forget me over here.
And Steve too is a great athlete too. He's a great athlete.
You can slap him. You're right there.
I get slapped all evening, and I want to get slapped when I get off the air. Okay? Anyway, thanks for all the folks coming on from Frostburg and McDaniel College and the Cleveland Guardians. That's great to see Richie out there. Hopefully, we'll be pulling for him and. Maybe when he gets to Camden Yards, maybe get some. We'll see if I can go see a game with him. If he gets to get to Camden Yards. Yep, absolutely, man. Yeah, and maybe I think that trip to Cleveland might be a good idea. I think that would be a blast. Yes, we'll work on that. Plus, I was thinking we'll work on Indianapolis 500. We got a bucket list full of stuff this year. Let's just get going. I'm in. I'm in. We're all in. So. Folks, thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with this is a sign of March Madness. You got to show you'll see this a lot in the next 4 weeks. Have a great night, everybody. Good night.
Into the front court. Prieto, the baseball pass. Cleveland the catch. Good if it goes. Oh, he hit it! Matthew Cleveland wins it for the Noles.